Now, Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado has said that she plans to return home as soon as possible. Machado has slammed the country's interim president, Delcy Rodriguez, calling her one of the main architects of torture, corruption, and narco-trafficking. Machado has added that Venezuelans reject Rodriguez and that in free and fair elections, the opposition would win by over 90%. Nobel Peace Prize laureate winner also praised the U.S. actions against the Maduro regime, calling them a historic step for freedom and human dignity. She has said that she has not spoken to U.S. President Donald Trump since October, when she first received the Nobel Prize. Machado has emphasized that her return is motivated by a desire to be more useful to the cause of democracy and freedom in Venezuela. Let's listen in.
January 3rd will go down in history as the day justice defeated a tyranny. It's a milestone, and it's not only huge for the Venezuelan people and our future. I think it's a huge step for humanity, for freedom and human dignity. I spoke with President Trump on October 10th, the same day the prize was announced. Not since then, but I do want to say today, on behalf of the Venezuelan people, how grateful we are for his courageous vision, the actions, historical actions he has taken against this narco-terrorist regime to start dismantling this structure and bringing Maduro to justice, which means that 30 million Venezuelans are now closer to freedom, but also that the United States of America is a safer country now.
Now, for this discussion, we welcome back retired Major General Siddhakarji. Thank you very much, Major General, for staying with us. You know, hearing her, I fail to understand where she's coming from. Is she trying to cater to domestic audience or international audience? How could her planned return, if possible or if happens, to Venezuela reshape Venezuela, and what impact might her public endorsement of U.S. actions against Maduro regime have, you know, on her, on the domestic audience and also international support?
Also, it's a very interesting question you are asking. You see, in such short time TV program, it's very difficult to explain. But there is a bigger picture behind all this. The bigger picture is there is a realignment of strategic geopolitical dimension or dynamics in the world order today. Particularly, it is to be seen from the light of the National Security Strategy of 2025, published by USA Pentagon and whichever agency, published by them. That has to be kept in the back of the mind, and look at the orientation. It is taken a strong departure from the mainstream orientation of USA. Erstwhile, earlier they used to call China as #1 enemy, and today they say Russia is in the peer group. They want to restore status quo ante of Russia with G8 member. They want to bring it back to the geopolitics of the global order. They also want China that you do whatever you wish to. As far as Taiwan is concerned, no eyebrows will be raised, no objections will be pointed. TRA or no TRA, 1972 or 79, that damn strategic ambiguity has no meaning, but you don't interfere across the Atlantic. Keep my America or the Monroe Doctrine, sanctity of the Monroe Doctrine intact, and it should support. If you start fingering or tinkering with the Monroe Doctrine, then I'll have all the rights of, supporting Taiwan and coming with boots on ground or things like that.
Yes.
So therefore, there is a clear division which has emerged in past 2 to 3 months' time with the publication of the National Security Strategy Doctrine. And whether you like it or not, the old saying of Thucydide doctrine, he is a Greek historian who in Peloponnesian War, so to long and short story of that is that the strong will do what it wants to do. The weak must suffer what it deserves to suffer. That is the irony. This is the reality of the world.
Yes.
So nobody can any country in the world today stop USA from doing what it is doing. So therefore, whether we like it or not, Maria Machado, when your pointed question was, Is she talking to the domestic audience or the international audience? As far as she is concerned, I doubt if she will enjoy the popularity. But if she has the popularity as on today, I think it will do good to Venezuela rather than fighting against a wall. It is always better. Let go. Let the USA come in and do whatever it wants to, because Venezuela has got armed forces, has got 1,03,000 or 30,000 personnel. Will they be able to fight against, despite all assistance of S-300, S-400 from Russia and Chinese support? I don't think so. With the new understanding which has emerged between America, Russia, America and China, I don't think it will be prudent for Venezuela to actually resist and counter and contest the approaches which are being made by USA. I'm giving a practical solution. I'm not saying it's an ideal solution. Last but not the least, that if Maria has got that much of conviction, let her come back. Let the people's mandate be demonstrated in a free and fair and inclusive election. The vice president, present vice president, will do well to go by the natural flow of events. If they resist, Donald Trump is not going to spare Venezuela. There are many things which we have not discussed. There are Hezbollahs present there. There are Wagner Group present there. There are the missiles of Russia which are already deployed in Venezuela. There are naval vessels of Russia which are floating around between Cuban waters and Caribbean Sea. So Donald Trump has got enough of justification to justify his action. Call it under law enforcement, although it is a facade, or call it as a war. For war, the Congress should have supported and should have ratified. That is where he's going wrong. It may lead to impeachment of Trump if they cannot justify and argue the course of action which they have taken against Maduro. It is most undemocratic in 21st century. You cannot actually intrude or invade into the sovereignty of a country and start claiming the natural resources of a country, no matter how inimical it may be. The manner in which they have carried out this operation, absolute resolve. Back to you, Soma.
With that, I would like to thank Major General Sudhakarji for joining us once again and sharing that insight throughout our news. Thank you very much.